Abortion is often presented in oversimplified or emotionally overloaded terms, either as routine health care or as a moral crisis. Both framings can distort the decision-making process, leading to emotional suppression, guilt, or delayed procedures. This narrative proposes a middle path, one that honors the complexity of abortion without coercion or trivialization. It draws on institutional resources, for example, Planned Parenthood's procedural sheets, Utah's inspection checklist, and reflective tools, for example, the Pregnancy Options Workbook and Pregnancy Decision Checklist, to support ethical, timely, and autonomous decisions. Abortion decision-making, a narrative for depth, dignity, and discernment. Imagine someone offers you a job. They ask everyone they meet if they would like to take it. They don't explain much, just that it's hard, and you don't have to do it. Most people shrug it off. No big deal. Turns out the job was running a 9-month boot camp and a day on the front line of war. At the finish line, a multi-million-dollar business, a life-altering opportunity of your dreams, a chance at independence and prosperity of ultimate ends. But because of the trivializing, one failed to ask questions, think methodically without fear and self-doubt, they missed it. They assumed the choice was trivial. They didn't realize what was at stake. This metaphor captures one reason why people owe it to themselves to think critically about abortion, not because the choice is always to run the marathon, but because the choice itself is not trivial. It's layered, consequential, and deeply personal. And when we fail to honor its complexity, we risk reducing a threshold moment to a checkbox. Beyond this, making rational choices allows us to honor our highest nature and live with purposeful integrity. The ethical tightrope between coercion and trivialization. In public discourse, abortion is often flattened into two extremes. Trivialization, framing abortion as just health care, a corrective procedure, something simple and unworthy of emotional weight. Coercion through guilt, overloading the decision with moral panic, fetal personhood rhetoric, or shame-based messaging. Both approaches are ethically fraught. Trivialization can erase emotional depth, relational context, and long-term impact. Coercion can hijack autonomy, turning moral reflection into moral injury. The result? People may delay decision-making, overwhelmed by either silence or shame. And delayed decisions can push abortions into later gestational stages, not because of moral clarity, but because of emotional paralysis. What thoughtful decision-making actually looks like. Across the resources reviewed from Planned Parenthood's procedural sheets to Utah's regulatory checklist to the National Abortion Federation's Pregnancy Decision Guide, a pattern emerges. Health-centered consent. Most institutional frameworks focus on the pregnant person's physical safety, legal rights, and procedural comprehension. These are essential, but they often exclude emotional, ethical, and existential dimensions of the decision itself. 2. Decision-centered reflection. Tools like the Pregnancy Options Workbook and Pregnancy Decision Checklist prompt emotional mapping. What do I feel and why? Value clarification. What matters most to me? Future forecasting. How will this choice shape my life? Relational impact. Who supports me and who does not? These tools resist both guilt and trivialization. They honor ambiguity. They activate internal reasoning rather than external pressure. A survivor-centered framework for messaging. To build a culture of thoughtful abortion decision-making, we must reject coercion and trivialization as tools of persuasion. Honor thresholds. Abortion is not just healthcare nor just murder. It's a moral, relational, and existential threshold. Center the decision-maker's agency while acknowledging the emotional and ethical weight of the choice. Provide modular tools like reflective checklists, visual models, and layered prompts that help people navigate complexity without fear. Closing thought. Abortion is not a binary. It's a decision made at the intersection of health, values, relationships, and time. To trivialize it is to erase its depth. To overload it with guilt is to dismiss humane consideration. The path forward is neither pacification nor panic. It is reverence, introspection, and resilient reasoning. Call to action. We invite clinicians, educators, advocates, and policymakers to integrate reflective tools into intake and counseling protocols. Reframe public messaging to honor complexity without coercion. Support survivor-centered curriculum and campaign design. Build systems that activate discernment, not delay. Resources referenced. Pregnancy Options Workbook, link. Pregnancy Decision Checklist, NF Guide PDF. Planned Parenthood, Pre-Procedure Sheet, PP, Southeastern PA. Utah Abortion Clinic Inspection Checklist, Utah DLBC PDF.